Sony are going from strength to strength in the DSLR market, and they just reinforced their position by releasing 3 new DSLRs. Hi, I'm Matt Grayson, technical writer for ephotozine.com and ephotozine.tv, and today I'm showing you the youngest of the 3, the Sony Alpha A230. So in terms of specification, the A230 offers a 10.2 million pixel CCD. It has 9 focus points, ISO sensitivity of a range of 100 to 3200, 2.5 frames per second continuous shooting, and has a double anti-dust feature, which is an anti-static coating and the sensor shift mechanism. So here it is in close-up, the Sony Alpha A230. I normally fit them with the standard 50mm lens, but on this occasion I've left the kit lens on, which is the 1855 f3.5 to 5.6 SAM DT lens. Now SAM stands for Smooth Autofocus Mode, and that's what I wanted to illustrate to you here. Now if we take a quick look around the camera, if we move on to the top, you'll see the command dial here. If I just move it onto aligned there, you can see that that's flush with the top of the camera. It means it's a lot thinner than your standard command dial. Makes it a little bit more difficult to use, but this is in keeping with the way that Sony have designed the camera. You'll see that it's a lot smoother than the previous models. The curves are a lot more rounded than the A100 or the A200, and that's because Sony have kind of gone it alone with the design. They've input their own influence into how the camera has been designed. It's not built on the old Konica Minolta chassis like the previous models were. So overall it's a lot more Sony-like. The wheel on the front there is for adjusting aperture or shutter priority modes depending on which one you're in on the command dial there. The dedicated hot shoe is Sony / Konica Minolta. It's a design that Konica Minolta brought in years and years ago so that people had to buy their own dedicated flash guns. Basically it's a reverse of the hot shoe, so this bit would normally be on the flash gun and the bit that wraps around it would normally be here on the camera. So you can't just go in and buy a £10 worth of cheap flash gun just to use as a slave trigger. Because it probably won't fit. So you have to get something that fits, either an adapter or a Sony dedicated flash gun. There's still a built-in one though, so you could always use that as a slave if you wanted to and just cover it up with a bit of cardboard. You've got the shutter release button on the right, and that's basically on its own apart from the power switch, which is just wrapped around it there. Moving on to the back, you've got a menu button on the left shoulder here. That's for your main menu to go into the main core areas of the camera. And then you've got a exposure compensation button. When you're in manual, this doubles up as your aperture button as well, so you'd hold that down, use the wheel, and it'll change your aperture instead of your shutter speed.